everyone, it's Marlene here from Stock Paper Scissors Crafting. Today I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about wax melts. I got a kit for Christmas from my daughter, and so I've been experimenting and playing around. So I just wanted to share with you some of the results of what I've been doing. This kit, I think she got it on Amazon. I'm not positive. It came with a bunch of wax melts like this. And these are easy to use because it's very easy to control how much you're using, whether you use 2 of the beads, 3, 4, etc. So I really like that. I know other people have talked about using a glue gun with the wax in it to melt it, and once you play it around for a little bit, I guess it's a lot easier to judge how much you're using. Other people have talked about using the sticks where you cut off a piece, and again, once you're a little more experienced, that's probably great. This kit also came with some really nice heavy envelopes, heavy cardstock. I haven't used any of these yet, but I look forward to it. They'd be great to sending to friends and family, or if you do swaps in any Facebook groups or whatever. It came with a burlap storage bag for whatever you want to put in it from the kit. It also came with the melting pot and the little spoon. Now, having more than one of these at a time would be really handy, because otherwise, if you're switching colors, you have to clean it out each time. Also, it came with 10 of the candles to use for melting. It came with a box of different glitters that you can use, and a pair of tweezers to put some of the glitter on. And it came in this little box with the handle and a bunch of the brass impressions, stamping impressions. So quite a handy kit, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with it. I did use all of the impressions and made a few of each. And then, of course, like most crafters, I got wondering what else I could use to make impressions with. So I got looking around my craft room, and I came up with various things that I thought I would experiment with. And that's what I want to share with you today. So I have a bag here full of the different wax melts that I made, using mostly the impressions and then some of the other things that I found around my craft room. So I will show you first of all some of the impressions. I tried to put some glitter, or the other thing I forgot to mention, it came with 3 markers for coloring your wax melts after you've done your impression. So I tried to color some of them so that hopefully they would show up a little better on the camera when I was showing what I did. So let's see if I can find a few here that are from the impressions. Rolling them all over here so I can see. So this is a rose. That was one of them. Make sure it can focus. Another one was this fleur-de-lis. And I'm not sure, I know on YouTube when I was watching various videos, a lot of people talked about the quality of the Craftspire impressions, and I think that's probably what these are, because the quality of these is very good. Very heavy, looks like solid brass, and they make a really good impression. This is another one, and this one I used some of the glitter on. It's a Tree of Life. And I used various color of melts so I could get a variegated effect on a lot of them as I was playing around. So then once I was done making some of the impressions, like I said, I got looking around my craft room for other things I could use. And one of the things I came up with was buttons, especially metal buttons. So I used a bunch of these various buttons, and I really like the ones with the little hole at the back, because once you've set it into your wax, it's a little easier to lift it and remove it using a pokey tool. For example, I have one here that I made, and I just slide that in there and then they pop right off. It makes it a lot easier to remove. But you can use flat buttons or round buttons as well. The other thing I found is anything with holes might be a little bit harder to remove, especially if you put it on when it's still very hot, because the wax comes up through the holes and spreads out a bit. But it's you have to play with it to figure it all out. If you don't put it on too soon, it works out just great. So this is another button I used. This one. Anyways, I just searched around my room and I found all kinds of various buttons. This is a rose. And they worked really well. Like I said, especially the metal ones. The metal ones cooled the wax at a great speed, so it was quicker and easier to remove. Yes, so look around your craft room and don't be afraid to find various textures. And then today I was playing around a little more and found a few more buttons and a few more items that I was trying. And I got to wondering how it would work with some of the rubber stamps. Now, I didn't want to use my good rubber stamps till I experimented, just in case something happened to the rubber. So I just pulled out some of these little rubber stamps that I have. This one was a dragonfly, and they actually worked very well. I colored them again so they would show up a little bit. This one was a butterfly. So that was a little experiment that turned out okay. I also had some small letters, so I wanted to see how they would go, and they're not too bad. The one thing I did find is you have to be careful not to push down too far, because if you make your wax too thin, when you go to remove it, it might tear. A little harder to remove. Oh, and I didn't mention, I've been using a glass plate for mine because it's cool, and I found that it worked really well. It kept the wax warm enough, give you time to put your impression on, but because it was cool also, it was a little easier to remove it because it's a non-stick surface. And between uses, I just clean it with a wax melt cleaner. This one I got at my dollar store. It was like $4 for this one. It's 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. In inches, it's a foot by a foot. So it's perfect for this. This one is a little bug, little ladybug. I tried to color it so it would show up, but it's not the greatest. I think it needed some more red to accent the bug. I just colored the black part. This one was a bee, and I did not color this one. But the impression, I don't know if you can see that, the impression actually turned out very well. With the gold, it's hard to see. Then I looked around some more in my room, and I just found some metal embellishments, crafting embellishments. And I tried those as well, and they turned out very well too. The one thing I found with these is you had to wait a minute for it to set up just a little bit before you plopped it on, and you had to drop it on evenly or it would be crooked and you'd only get half of an impression. Also use this leaf. And this is how it turned out. So, yes, look around your room. Find various things that worked. I tried this one, this embellishment. I haven't tried it a second time. The first time, I had spread the wax too thin, and when I put that on, when I put it on, it was too thin, and when I tried to remove it, it broke. So I'll have to try that one again. This one I also tried, and I didn't use enough wax melts. It wasn't big enough, so it was very difficult to see the impression. It wasn't the right size. The other thing I discovered is if you're playing around and any of your wax melts that don't turn out or that you're not happy with, you can remelt them. It works great. So don't be disappointed if something doesn't turn out. If you don't like it, just melt it again and try it again. So that's my take on today's project. I hope it gave you some ideas, and you'll go look around in your craft room and have fun experimenting. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention, have your tools at the ready, because working with wax, it's a very quick process. It hardens fairly quickly. You don't have a lot of time to get up and look around. So I would suggest finding anything you want to use for an impression and having it handy. Have your tools like the pokey tool, your wax melting kit set up. Have a rag handy because you need to be able to wipe this because it does drip down the side. And any markers that you want, have them ready also. So that's my last tip. Happy crafting, and I hope you get a chance to try this. And thank you for watching my video.